to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, beautiful people. Come on in. It's Friday. Say good morning. We've got some people that already started saying good morning. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm excited about today. I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time. I'm getting out tonight. We'll do some karaoke. How about that? Hang out with some friends. So I'm excited. So y'all say good morning as you get your groove on. Let's groove on in. Let's feed these ducks. Let's do it. Happy Friday. All right. Let's bring. Good morning, B. How's it going?
Good morning, Mama. How you doing, sweetie?
Good. Are you ready to get your groove on today? It's Happy Friday.
It is Friday.
Yeah. So how's it going?
So far, so good. Got me a shower, prayer. Feeling like I'm ready to start the day. It's Friday. I can't wait. I love Fridays. I got a lot going on, a lot to do, a lot of love to give, and a lot of love to receive. So I'm happy. How about you, sweetie?
Let me see you feed the ducks. Come on, just a little bit. Wake it up.
Huh? Come on.
Let me see you feed the ducks. Come on, wake it up.
I'm about to feed myself. You know, I got one of these liquid IVs.
You know what? I think they really helped yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had one yesterday, y'all. Liquid IV. I don't know if you've heard of those, but yeah. I had one with Daughter in Love. We both had one, and I think it helped me a little bit. I was feeling okay anyway, but I just feel like it gave me a little boost.
So now I can feed the ducks. I'm just
All right. So good morning, everyone. So let's jump into it. It's Friday. We got to get it and get on out and do what we got to do.
Let's do it. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the In the Season podcast, where we spend every morning at 7 a.m. reading Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. A great book, a friend, if a book could ever be called one. And this is the author here. There's a picture of him on my tethered book here. Make sure that you get the book. We like to promote the author. We don't get anything for reading through this book except for the value of the content within it. So we do like to shout out the author. You can pick up that pretty much anywhere books are sold, especially online. It might be out of publishing now, but I know that there's a ton that you can buy online. And it's a low cost book, but a high value book. So again, we're reading through Daily Motivations for African American Success. Let's go on with the show. A little bit more about this book, though. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. But what it teaches will last you a lifetime. So again, welcome to the show, y'all. And thank you for letting us be a part of your morning routine. Who do we have in the chat?
So we have The only person in the chat is Big Mike. I see more people out there. Y'all say good morning.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Hey, good morning. Let us know you're out there. I do want to say, I don't know if she's out there, but Cousin Toy's birthday is today. If she was on, I might sing to her. Brandon, I got to get you some information from her as well for Cousin Jeffrey.
Yes.
Miss Brenda has come in. Good everything, everyone. Happy Friday. Friday, I'm sorry. Thank you, God, for another day. Amen to that. Amen. So let's jump into it, Brandon.
Sounds good. So today is 10/11. Oh, I want to make a shout out. Yesterday, I forgot to mention something, Mom. Yesterday was the 9th anniversary of me and Stella's
Oh,
actual
the
wedding
10th.
in Mexico.
Yes, the 10th.
Yeah, yeah. So we figured that
Wow.
out yesterday morning after the show. We was like, hey, baby, it's like our 3rd anniversary. Like, we have about two. We have 3 a year. We have one February 22nd, the day we met. Then we have another one when we got spiritually married, August 4th, and then we have October 10th. So we be celebrating every chance we get.
Man. Yeah. Gosh, how did they slip?
Well, because we usually do the one on
I mean,
the
for me too.
yeah, we usually, and we told her dad when we were on the phone with him, like, hey man, today is where we were 9 years ago today, and he started thinking, he was like, oh, that's right, Mexico. So I mean, we celebrate the 4th, and then also when we got spiritually married, and then when we got actually married, like had the celebration in Mexico. So it's all love. Every day is a celebration for us. So
Wow.
it was good.
Wow. Happy anniversary.
Thank you,
I
sir.
messed up. I did not remember that yesterday.
No, it's no mess up there.
Yeah.
We
Should
had a
have thought
cheesecake from you. So
you
appreciate
had
that.
a cheesecake.
That's true. That's true. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It was me. I ate like 2, 3 slices yesterday. I need to stop, but I love me some cheesecake. But nonetheless, you ready to jump into it for October
Jump
11th?
right into it. Let's jump right into it.
All
Nothing
right.
but to do it.
See, this one. See, I shouldn't even be reading this one. This one's October 11th. It is titled "Good Hair," and I ain't in this competition.
You got good hair too.
What hair? That's what I'm saying. No, I'm just messing.
That's why
Good hair. Good hair is the title of the day for this day 254. And Maxine Waters, the congresswoman, the one we all call Auntie Maxine, she said Aunt Jemima is the black woman who cooked and cleaned, struggled, brought up her own family and a white family. And if I'm ashamed of Aunt Jemima, her head rag, her hips, her color, then I'm ashamed of my people. Hmm.
hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. And the passage goes as follows. It's not hard to compare ourselves, our looks, our capabilities, our accomplishments with paragons of perfection. We know who they are. We see them every day in magazines and music videos, on television, models, actors, celebrities of one kind or another. No matter where we turn, we are bombarded with the images and all the adjectives that go with them. Oh, such and such has a beautiful complexion, or did you see you know whose hairstyle? I wish my hair was like that. Needless to say, we fall short in these comparisons. For most of us, falling short may not be devastating, but it certainly can result in a subtle and steady erosion of our self image and self confidence. If we persist in comparing ourselves to these standards, we will always be too dark or too light, and our hair will be too short or too nappy. In order to strengthen our self image, we have to develop respect for our own uniqueness and individuality. The culture may define beauty in terms of a particular body shape or facial structure, but what qualities do we possess that are equally attractive? What about traits other than physical ones? The point is, You need to define and aspire to your own sense of beauty. Right now, you are the right color and your hair is good. You need to determine and hold fast to what is right for you individually. And our affirmation for the day is I am unique and attractive. I am beautiful in the mind of God. One more time. I am unique and attractive. I am beautiful in the mind of
Hmm.
God. Over to you, Mom. What you
Ooh,
think?
wow, Brandon. I'm gonna send this one back over to you.
Hmm?
I'm gonna send it back to you.
Okay. Okay. The hairless one,
Yes,
huh?
good hair. It says
Right,
here,
right,
right? It
right.
says right now you
Oh,
are
oh,
the
oh,
right color and your hair
man.
is good.
I got a good head, man. I got a nicely shaped head.
There's hair in there.
There he is. I'm just messing. I
Yo,
just like,
imagine that. Oh my gosh, imagine like the hair grows out of it. I don't know how. Man, see, I'm gonna take the show to a different place.
what?
Just
What?
and I'm just imagine.
You remember I used to have dreadlocks?
Yes,
Locks. I
yes,
still got them somewhere in a bag.
yes. I do remember that. I do remember how I felt about that too. And that was some underlining stuff, reasons for that as well. But
I knew it. I could sense it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was it? Talk about that. What was that? Let's break that down.
Um, Goes back to the mother. I mean, of the mother of a black son who feels like that adds another few points
To the
to
target on my
that
back.
one police officer or two, or that those police officers that will see you different and make even a quicker judgment upon you because of it's kind of like the hoodie, after man, gosh, it's just I'll say that it was just
After
another,
Trayvon Martin and all that. And
yeah, 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 didn't even want your children, some mothers, not all. I mean, I get it, but I remember like, man, this is something else. Goes back to me not wanting you to drive 5-10 minutes or over to get a meal. I'd rather
yeah.
get up and bring it. So it was just one more thing. Um, and I'm much better with that because of my faith and my relationship with God. There comes a point you just have to, you not a point, you just have to trust God because if not, you will run yourself crazy. Even making it applicable to today's topic, y'all, there's so many things about us as a people that we take upon. Sure enough, there was a time where I'll give you an example. I was having a conversation with Mimon, our adopted mother out here, and we were talking about in her days and times of raising, and she said, baby, we got all the leftovers, and that just hit me in a different way. She said we had the leftover food, the leftover clothes. And I told her, I said, I'll tell you what, we did not get leftovers. We have the same equal opportunity in the God who created all of us. And that's what gave people in slavery the strength. Frederick Douglass, you can have my body, but not my mind, right? So there's so much that we buy into because it's there. But when you turn that mirror inward and you look in and you thank God for who He created and how He created you, right? Because there's something in somebody for everybody and everything, right? I remember I say uncle, but I had an uncle through an auntie who, and they didn't mention size here. They mentioned color. They mentioned physical ones, but we didn't either you're too light, too dark, too thin, too fat, too big, or whatever. And I remember my Uncle Charles, he
Mm.
didn't want he liked healthy women. Healthy, right? beyond healthy. That was his thing. He used to tell me, eat up. You need to eat. You need to get big, right? He liked big women. So to the larger woman, if you like yourself, right? Somebody out there is gonna like you too. But if you don't like you, right? It may be there's a quote that says she loved him, but he didn't, right?
Mm.
She loved him, but he didn't, meaning he didn't love himself, right? And I need to stop doing this at nighttime because it didn't even dawn on me the Aunt pancakes, right? That's who they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That's yeah. I just got it.
What she represented, like
Right,
I had grandmothers, great grandmothers, and grandmothers that did the same thing, raised their children and raised some white children, and
right,
would have white children come by, or adults that would come by and see them,
right,
that saw them as mom,
right.
because that she was more of a mother to them than she was more of a mother to them than their own parents. And I think what that ended up doing was creating dissonance inside of the children of
Oh,
these white people, right? These white homeowners that had the help, as they called it.
mm-hmm,
Now those children had felt detached, and a lot of those older people were in old folks' homes, and those children that were suckled by black breasts
mm-hmm.
were coming over to visit my grandma, my great grandma. So, I mean, it makes it a very interesting complex for them too, and who knows, may have even been one of the things that helped with having so many white allies in the civil rights movement. So there's so many things that could lead to the cure for the ills of people. But one of the things that you said that struck a chord with me, you said there's so much that we buy into, and not giving us an excuse, but there's so much we were sold into too. You see what I'm saying? So we buy into a lot of things, but previous to that, we were sold. Our people were sold into,
I get that,
and a
Brandon, but
lot of those are still perpetuating because of our inability to deal, or those who haven't dealt with that trauma and kind of unlearned the senselessness, the debauchery of colorism, or of not celebrating the diversity that's within African Americans. Because as melanated people and as a people of African descent, we actually have the most diverse, like Africa. What people don't understand, is actually the most ethnically diverse place in the world, continent, and the entire world. There's no place that's more diverse than Africa. And but because we have limited our perception of ethnicity by colorism, which was a construct of imperialism and slavery and the transatlantic trade. Before before that, there was no real colorism in the sense that we see it. There was nationalism. What tribe are you from? What nation are you from? What empire are you actually from? Are you from the Persians? Uh, are you what's another one? Are you Han Chinese? Are you Irish? Are you British? The Irish and the British used to fight, and these are two look like the same white people to me, right? The Spanish again with the Portuguese, and so that it was where you were from and who were your people, not what color you are. And so now over here in America, we've have everything stratified by what color you are. When the people from the Middle East were coming over here in the 60s and 70s in order to get, or even beyond that, even to this day, uh, in order to get more representation, they advised them to put down that they were white. You see what I'm saying? And so we really have blurred the color lines in a sense, or the racial lines, because truly there's only one race. If you do by the definition of race, there's only one race, and that's the human race. But what we've done is use something that is very immaterial to who we are as a person, and something that we can't even choose. Right? We've formed that as a determinant for for how well someone is, or how good someone is, or how far they might go in life. And that's a sin on us for perpetuating it, and for the one who started it. Because remember, they would put, if you read the Willie Lynch letters, they put the dark skin against the light skin, the old against the young, the ones with quote unquote fine hair or good hair versus the ones with kinky and curly hair, right? And so we started to use things like that as measuring sticks, right? These were the notches on the totem pole to tell us who was on top and who was on bottom. And that same thing existed even inside of, I would say, our situation, Mom, when I had locks, that you're, oh, here's another thing that is going to, put a target on my son's back, right? That is a reverberation of the same thing that we bought into because we were sold into. That some other people have the power to measure our character, to measure our humanness by the style of our hair. And that we would buy into it, that I could see fear in my mother's eyes for wearing a certain hairstyle. That's ridiculous, right? That's absolutely ridiculous. So we bought into it, but it comes from a deeper place of being sold into that. And as much as we want to say that trauma is just, oh, we just got to get over, we got to deal with it, that is a very, very tough thing to do for many people. And because we are wired to go towards comfort and run away from hardship. We are wired to, when we, 300,000 years ago, you know, running in the bush. If something, attacks you once, or your mother told you that something attacked her a long time ago, and it looked like that four-legged thing over there, then we too would share in our apprehension of that thing. We would share in our fear of that thing. And so that gets passed down and passed down and passed down. You don't see a baby deer running away from a wolf for no reason. The baby deer may have never had an experience with a wolf, but it knows from its mother that this is danger, right? And so we oftentimes learn these little small things just from the tone of your mother or father when they speak about something like police officers. Even to this day, my son loves police. And to this day, that makes me feel uneasy. To this day, we go by police, and my son's like, "Oh, look, Daddy, a police car, a police car." And I'm like, man, if you don't shut up about no police. But it's good because for me, I'm like, oh, okay, there's police. I automatically have my eye on them. Not, I don't feel safer when they're around. Oh, there's a police officer. Everybody's protected. No, I feel like, man, that's the most dangerous gang member out here. And I done kicked it with Bloods, Crips, VLs, GDs, whoever. This is the most dangerous gang out here. And I have friends who are police officers, and I see them as this exception sometimes, right? So I am also doing the thing to them, but at the same time, like Malcolm X said, right? Like, you're telling me to go into a room full of snakes and say, well, only certain ones will are poisonous, so don't mind the other ones. It's like, I don't want to be in a room full of snakes. So there's so much to unpack with, and he was using that in reference to before he had his conversion to Sunni Islam, to natural Islam, and he was still on the Black nationalist trend of separating Black people and white people. He was saying, I don't want to be in a room. You're telling me to go to a room full of snakes, and only some of them are gonna bite me. And then I heard Muhammad Ali use that same reference. So it's a lot to unpack. But when it comes to good hair, when it comes to skin tone and all these other things, one of the things that helps us unpack that luggage is knowing where it came from and what it was used for, right? It was used for our deconstruction. It was used for our separation, our division, and the subsequent conquering, that divide and conquer. So knowing where it came from, knowing the intentions behind it, gives us that extra push to say, I don't want this, and I don't want to continue this. So I
There
will
you
say, for myself, Every day I come across a generational curse that I say, oh, wait a minute. No, 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 no. That one ends with me,
There
you
you go.
know? So
Right.
that, over
Yeah.
to you though, Mom.
And that's I'm glad I don't have anything much to say because I have to always take it back to you. To you. Yes, I know trauma. Still have some trauma, right? But I'm at a place in my life where I'm going to take responsibility to do the best I can do to make sure, because you mentioned something about passing it down, right? That when does it stop? When do we start to take responsibility for culture, right? For teaching. Some of our children don't know a third, a fourth of all things that were created by people who look like them, right? We're so busy trying to become them and want what they want, and no shade on any color, right? But if we're going to play the game of color, then learn the game of color. Learn it, right? Reminds me of the brown eyes, blue eyes experiment. Y'all, if you've
Mm,
never watched that, please go out and watch it. I'll put it out there, right? And then when you see the little white girl and the little black girl, a little black girl that chooses the white doll every time. Imagine that. Imagine that. And I see young girls, and again, no shade. I'm just speaking my truth. I see young little black girls with so much weave in their hair that they could hardly walk. I saw a little 13 girl, looks like about 13, maybe younger, with a Beyonce weave. What are we teaching them at that point?
mm,
How will they grow to love the skin that they're in? So it is a trick of the mind. And as I go back to speaking about leftovers, my Mima, we were having that conversation, and she goes, "Baby," and she's the lady that whispered to me that if y'all remember the blessed with it for the elderly people that I spoke for. She's the
mm-hmm.
reason for that. But she was also the person that told me, baby, don't do it. As I went over there, mad about something, getting ready to make a bad decision. And she just whispered. And Mima is not a whispering person, but she just whispered, baby, don't do it. Right. And it got my attention because she's this loud person. So I know, oh, this must be serious. Right. But as she talked about leftovers, I could feel her pain. She talked about, well, I won't say that part, but because it's kind of personal. But I could feel where she was at that time. Sometimes she says things now that she's back there, right? And I'll say, don't say that. Don't say that. So I get it. I'm also reminded of my stepmom's mother, whose daughter owned a State Farm agency, right? But she never bought insurance from her daughter, right? Y'all remember how the white insurance man used to come around and collect money from your elderly grandmothers and mothers, and some of those insurance policies they never seen, and if they did, it was such a little portion, and that they had paid for it all of their lives. Why? We know why. We know why, because they were stealing the money. But there was such a trust in this white man who came with his suit, if that sometimes, right? And so think about this too, the same leftover, meaning our ancestors got the leftover meat, right? The leftover teachings. They were told they could not, you could be beaten just to read, right? To learn how to read. But those same people, like if it will be Aunt Jemima, let them same women take care of their babies. Now imagine crazy. Who's crazy? So imagine, as Brandon talked about, the cognitive dissonance that takes place in perhaps even the wife of the husband there on the plantation, right? Because some of them didn't like what was happening, but did not speak up. But y'all, we have to take responsibility for how we feel about ourselves. If we believe in a high God that created us with purpose, for purpose, and who knows every hair on our head, who controls our life, then that's where our faith lies. And I know it's hard. I'm one that had problems getting stop eating Sonic ice. So I know hey, if I couldn't let go ice, how can not about drugs, how can the person who gets on drugs sometimes because of all this internalization that we don't deal with? And so once you see yourself, once you turn that mirror inward and become naked before it, what are my woes? Once you like you, the game is over. Once you love you, the game is over. Once you play the game, the hand that God gave you, the game is over. But as long as you're playing a game in this outwardly world that controls every thought you think, knows the actions you're going to take after it puts the thought in your head, man, you're playing so many games you don't even know you are alive. You're wrapped up in it. Whether you got good hair, whether you're light skinned, whether you have kinky hair, whether you're overweight, thin, as long as you're playing the game of the world, it won't even matter. Your color, your size, where you live, none of it matters because you're caught up. You're playing basketball on the football field. And imagine that. Imagine that. So you have to choose the side. And I'm choosing the side. Frederick Douglass says, you can have my body, but my mind, baby, belongs to me and the one. We've bounced out here. If you get in the will, it has to be a level of faith that starts to happen. And how do you get that? A level of relationship with God, not just playing with God. You know, I was thinking about that this morning. I'll turn it over to you so we can get off, Brandon. I was thinking of a situation a couple of weeks ago, last month, where I felt like I was talking to people of God about a God who was a stranger to them. Right? I'm talking about a God to a people of God, but it seemed like the people of God did not know the God. Right? And that's what's happening. We've disconnected from the source. Yesterday I said, I believe one thing that kept the ancestors that I got to see. Not perfect people for sure. But I'm going to tell you what they did. They trusted God. They trusted and leaned upon God for their needs. For their needs. Maybe not had the steak, but didn't go to bed hungry. Maybe paid the bill on the last day, but the bill got paid. They trusted. They wasn't looking for the world. They wasn't looking to be satisfied by a world and a people who never validated them because they never validated themselves. Because if they had, they would not have need to have demeaned us as a people. See, they let you keep their children because they know your greatness. They let you cook their food. Now imagine that. I'm treating somebody bad, but you got me in your kitchen cooking your food. Rat poison. I mean, come on now. Come on. So imagine the level of fear, because all that could have been solved. But we got to a place where we wanted to become them. We wanted what they had, and we are not. Just like men and women are as different as night and day, right? We were created differently for a reason. But when you start seeking and wanting to become the oppressor, what are you now? And then you look back and you treat the people like you differently because you want that. You want to be in the house cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children. You no longer want freedom. You want what they got. And you want to be who they are. And imagine the cognitive dissonance in that, because now you're going against who God created you to be. Right? So it's interesting, good hair. It's interesting, the title of that. And I believe there's a lot more to it than that. Right? I think about the movie. Who's the guy actor who wrote the movie about you're not my hair. It was a black guy.
I remember that movie, but I don't remember exactly who did it.
Yeah. So y'all, it starts with us. Meaning you. Because truth be told, Brandon, what do we say?
It's
It's
about
about
you.
you. Because if one person overcame, another person can. Brandon, will you say if there's enough for one, if there's enough for two, there's enough for four, or something
Or if
like
it's
that?
enough for one, it's enough for two. If it's enough for two, it's enough for
Right,
four,
right,
8, so on and so forth.
right. I'm reminded of so many. Thought about the janitor who became the principal of the school, right? I interviewed him some years back. You can't tell me that if you don't put your mind to it and some action behind it. See, we got to stop being the problem, talking about the problem. What is the solution? And Brandon, that's what you said at the end. Once we know, once you know, once you know, period.
Yeah.
So we know the game. We know where the game came from. We know how we got here. So if you know how it got tangled up, how do we untangle it becomes the solution, right? So you could sit and whine and complain. We all can do that. We all have a reason to do that, whether we have good hair, light skin, dark skin, thin, thick, right? Because really, at the end of the day, I've seen some of the most beautiful people outwardly. I mean, got the total package, but they're so ugly. You don't even want to look at them because there's such an attitude that comes with it that overrides what you see. There comes a time where you start to look with your spiritual eyes, live with your spiritual life, and you see what true beauty is. You know what it is. And it has nothing to do with hair, size, color, nothing,
Mm.
nothing. So back over to you, Brandon. I'll check some comments here.
I have a challenge for the people who are listening, because the affirmation here today speaks about self-love and self-image. So I want to ask, what is your favorite quality about you? If you were, if you didn't know you, if you, I'll say this, if you knew everything about you but hadn't met you yet, what would you meet yourself with as a compliment? What's the compliment that you would give yourself? What is it that you like about yourself? It could, and let's try to make one physical quality and one internal quality, one character quality. And you can think about it in your head, but I want to see them I want to see them in the comments. Give me one physical attribute that you have about yourself that you love, that you hold in high regard. And then also give me one that's an internal, something that you worked for as far as your character, or something that you do, or the way that you think internally, um, that is unique and attractive to you. Let me see what y'all got in the comments. Mom, what about you, babe? What do you like about yourself?
If I had to think of one, is my love for people.
Mm,
Like really, I will go hard, and I've learned to kind of make sure I do the same for myself, if that makes sense. But I will think about people in the if you only knew, like if I pass by someone that I perceive is homeless or whatever, I'm praying for them and I don't know them. And I've
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
taken it home and just, I mean, sobbed about some cases. So I've always had a genuine love for people, and probably learned, in some way, probably for a long time, I learned to put people before myself. And that came from a lack of love and understanding. Because you can have it, but in everything, it needs to be balanced. And what does God say? Love them as you love yourself, right?
Mm,
So,
mm-hmm.
people, so it's about bringing things into balance. You made me think about something that I saw, and it blessed me because I was in my head about, um, being thankful that I no longer feel the need to love people. Um, it came from the verse, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, why stand up and argue with spiritual, with the darkness of this world, right? Why, if we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but the darkness, right? warfare. So why am I going to let me pray for my brother, my sister? Let me still love them. And I saw this real ministry requires you to love when you're not liked, right? I'm going to say this one again. Real ministry requires that you love when you know you're not even liked by the person. And in most cases, that's in most cases it's family. Let's just keep it real here, right? Because we battle each other. Oh, I'm going to get it first. I'm going to get there. How dare you get it? We cut from the same cloth, as you say, Brandon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So real ministry requires you to love when you're not liked. Pray when you want to fight. Y'all get that? Pray for them when you really want to fight them, when you want to show up. So pray when you want to fight, and those who wrong you, treat them right. When you're able to treat the person that you know, right, that you know doesn't even like you, doesn't treat you right, right, that you've learned, I don't have to fight them, right? So it's just my genuine love for people who has helped me to genuinely learn to love myself. Myself. Because if I don't love me, we could play this love game all day. There's no way that I can appropriately love you in that
Right.
godly agape love.
Right.
When you stop fighting yourself, you stop fighting you. Stop fighting others, right? So for me, it's just my love for people. So
Mm.
come on, y'all, get them comments out.
And
That's it.
what about physically?
I don't know physically.
Oh, you got to give me one. Come on. That's agape love.
But I'm telling y'all, get physical.
I know, but you got to get. Come on, you got to give. It said something unique about you that you like. What is it?
Physically.
Don't back away from that one.
No, that's really hard because I
I know.
promise you, it's hard because I don't. That's hard for me because let me think. Maybe my hair now. I don't know. Does that?
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
I look at it as a whole, and it's hard to say something physical. I think I'm beautiful.
There you go. Cool. It could be that. It could be
There's
that.
been times where I didn't think I was,
Mm.
right? Right? Like, like, oh, I want to change this. I wish it was this. I wish it was that. And now I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm okay with who I am, where I am, right? Because at the end of the day, y'all, I don't have control of that. So I'm okay with God, who is the decision maker of that. Because I could go out today, God forbid,
Yeah.
don't any of us. We could come back with one limb. You could leave with your whole body. Now, so if my love for myself is based on I have all of this, right? That my body is together and I have all my parts, then I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose the fight. I'm not gonna be in the game because think about the people who have no legs. There's a
Yeah.
lady who learned how to do what she had no arms and she did everything with her feet.
Yeah.
So if I,
There's
I it's
children now that got that. You know what I mean?
right.
More children have been become amputees, have lost limbs in the
Right.
last year since that war over there in Palestine. More kids have lost limbs and been killed in 1 year than the last 10 years of conflicts in the whole world combined. So I mean,
And
like, we blessed.
they learn how to thrive and live
We
and
are blessed.
still be happy or still have joy. Because there's a difference to me. Joy. Miss Brenda says, I love that I'm a caring person. She says, I love my eyes. I love seeing Black women who wear their hair naturally, especially those who are wearing those fierce afros. This tells me that they are their own people and they love themselves and are prideful. I wasn't gonna go there, but that's a great point. There's such an alarming to me number of our women who, and it's come to the point where men, I don't want to speak for all, but I know often I matter of fact, we were watching Zatima. We waited for the third season, and I'm not so happy with this new writing or new season. I feel like there's so much that they could have bought out of. Um, these last few seasons that would have been meaningful to life. But Jimmy said, why does everybody on there have weave? Like every woman on there has weave. Where is the natural hair? Our men are coming back to a place where they want you as natural as can be.
Yeah, yeah. We do
Like
not. We don't prefer that. We do
right.
not
It's
prefer
it's
weave.
us trying to measure up. Not everybody. I get it. But y'all, when
Oh
it
my God.
happens in this way, and there's such beauty in us. There's such beauty. But
Yeah.
when we get to a point where 9 out of the 10 women I see a day, I mean, we down to your butt. And you're not everybody, this right here, walking through the store, go
Or
take
at the
yourself.
or at the drive-through. Oh my goodness, I've seen
I
people
mean,
do
you're
that at
beating your
drive-throughs.
head. It is just like, and we're walking in these, like I've said this, and I might I don't know, might rub some people the wrong way here. The part of what's wrong with us is our clothes are too tight. Our feet hurt from the heels that are too high. Our feet were never designed to be in. We are the weave is it got our heads itching. The bra, the all this stuff that we put on. And who are we putting it on for? Because most of us say, I don't even want a man. So if you don't want a man, what for? Is it for you? Is it, I mean, really, do you go all and do all of this for you? Right?
Mm,
And I get it. I'm not saying everybody does it because of the lack of self-esteem or to fit in, right? To say I have good hair. Because some of you, truth be told, when you take it off, you don't even feel right. You got to put it right back in. You've worn it for so
it's
long.
like a mask.
Right. You don't like the way you look right afterwards. So do it for the sake of whatever. Not meaning you got to do this to feel like you measure up, right?
Right.
That you measure up. So that's the good hair is why I thought it was interesting. Was it going there? Was it going to that place where we've changed that so much, changed our look so much, and have a desire to do so. Miss Brenda says, Mike and I were just talking about that the other day when we were walking. I told him that when I was wearing my hair up in a French roll, I got so many compliments from men about hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So love you. Try you
Yeah.
for a while. Try just the bare essence of you, of how God created you. One day we told you guys to just gaze into a mirror, into your eyes, right? Kind of take it all off and see who God created. Brandon asked a great question. What's your greatest character strength? What's your weakest? Build upon that. Find out what it is. See, we don't want to know. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
we're so busy judging
Yeah. We
and
will lie to
disliking
ourselves.
someone else. Right. Because
We
you're
will
trying
lie to
to
ourselves
avoid. Right. And
in
the,
order
and the
to
greatest
portray
lies
an
we
act.
tell are
Mm-hmm.
the ones that we tell ourselves. If you lie to yourself, you'll lie to me. Right. If I lie to me, I'll lie to you. Right. Being even having the greatest love and concern for people when I was not, that means nothing if I, as a people, am not connected to the source. Because even then, my loving you sometimes can be tainted, egotistic, right? So, truth be told, it's all about you guys. You could tell me a story, and I could show you someone who, whew, came out of a worse story that you could never imagine. So your story is for you. Live your story out. As Brandon says, as long as you're looking and comparing your life to someone else, oh, they're light skinned. That's why they got that. I'll show you a dark skinned person that got that too. But they got
Yeah.
that because they got themselves.
Right. Right. A lot of times we form excuses and lies to promote our inaction, to keep us comfortable, right? Because we're really comfortable even in our mess. Many people are
Mm,
really comfortable in their mess and they don't want
mm,
to admit that they're a pig.
mm. Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
Just lost some people right there, Brandon. Say
That's
that
okay.
again. Can you repeat
But
that?
a lot of us we lie to ourselves to stay comfortable in our own mess. We are too comfortable in our own mess, and we won't admit that we are pigs.
Mm,
We won't admit it, right? And we don't have to be, but we're so comfortable in our dysfunction to where function doesn't feel right. We're so comfortable in our miscommunication that when somebody says something true to us that goes straight to our heart, when they speak directly to us without all the fluff, without all the sugarcoating, we're offended.
ended. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that person told you the truth, right? You would
But you call
prefer,
it judging.
right? You
You
would prefer the friend that will
yeah.
talk behind your back, and not the friend that'll be like, "Hey, girl, you got a booger in your nose. Before we go out, I just want to let you know you got that big old
Mm,
booger in your nose." Whereas your other frenemy will let y'all go out, have a great time, and be looking snickering. Girl, what's wrong? What you laughing at? Nothing. Sitting there laughing at that booger in your nose, talking behind your back. But we would take that mess, right? Because there's a part of us that wants to please people. There's a part of
yeah.
us that wants people that don't like us or don't want us. We want to appease them and convert them to loving us, because really we haven't converted ourselves. We externalize the work that we should be doing within ourselves. We externalize it. Let me make that person like me. No, make you like you. Work on you loving you. Be proud of yourself. Do things that when you wake up the next day, you think about yesterday, be like, man, I did that. I accomplished that. Set goals for your daily, for your life on the day. Think about tomorrow today. Plan tomorrow. What am I going to accomplish tomorrow? Right? And see how much of your list you get down. And that evokes some type of pride in you. So now
Mm,
you can execute things, right? Maybe now that you know that eating all that bad stuff for you and not exercising is bad for you, is harming you and gonna kill you one day. But now that you know, if you don't get your butt out there and exercise, if you don't make different decisions in the grocery store,
mm.
then you are comfortable in your mess and you won't admit that you're a pig.
Amen. Truth be
All right.
told, we're all a pig in
In
some
some
way,
way.
shape, form, or fashion. Name your pig today. Claim your pig today. Deal with your pig. Clean it out.
And start by this. Start by giving yourself. I would say this. Start by naming what's clean on you, and start
Mm-hmm.
loving the clean part.
Mm-hmm.
You start with, they say I got a wolf that hunts for me, and or a wolf that'll grow to hunt for me, and a wolf that'll eat me. Which wolf is gonna live and which one dies? The one that you feed the most, right? So if you feed the good will grow. If you focus on the good within yourself, the good will grow, and then that the evil and the bad and the parts that you detest will become more and more distasteful to you, right? So think about it. What do you love about yourself? Accentuate those things. Do
Mm-hmm.
things to yourself. Learn new things. Do have experiences that make you proud of who you are. Start managing yourself. Start looking at yourself as if you are the manager of your life, as if you are a whole different person, right? That you can look at and say, you know what? I don't want to wear this. I don't want to talk like this. I want to speak with dignity. I don't want to be cursing everywhere that I go. I want to dress with dignity. I don't want to be looking like a whore everywhere that I go. Men, you can do the same too. Do Be dignified in your approach to life, so that at the end of it you can be proud that if your great great grandchildren were watching you, or your great great grandmother were watching you, you would say, yep, I want them to see that and know that God is more deserving of that respect than your great great grandmother and your great great grandchild. And God sees you all the time, right? So make it, beautify yourself for God. And look at it. It said God didn't make no mistakes. He didn't create you the way that you are, but there's some people, and some of you are the way you are because of your own doing. God didn't create you obese. God didn't create you with all that petroleum in your hair that's destroying your hormones and giving you cysts. Petroleum jelly comes from crude oil, petroleum. Let me put some petroleum in my car. That's the same stuff you putting on your head. We know where this stuff comes from. We are smarter than this. We are smarter than this, and we're not doing anything about it because we love our own mess, because our mess makes us feel comfortable and we're used to it. We're used to it, right? So let's change
Mm.
that. Let's say what's good about ourselves. Let's look in the mirror and say, I like the fact that you are a truth speaker, that you speak the truth. I like the fact of how, like mom said, that she has a love for people, or I like the fact that I'm charitable, right? I like the fact the way that I love my kids and my wife. What is it about you? Don't externalize it. Make it about you. Not I like the fact that I have a car. That's not something you like about you, right? I like the fact that I got a big old house. That's not what you that's not what it is. Do you like the fact that you started a business and you stay committed to it? And now
Mm.
you can provide for your family and the next generation, you have some wealth to pass on. That's something you can like about. That's something to be respected for, right? Make it an internal thing. What did you do to make that change? And I'm asking you to make a greater one within yourself. All right. So let's get up out of here, mom. It's almost 8 o'clock. And I'm
Is
sure
it? Oh
you,
my
yep.
gosh. All right. I had a few. I was looking for this certain quote, but I didn't find the one that I wanted. But I'm going to read a few and then we're going to get out of here.
All right, cool, cool.
I get talked about, not confronted.
Mm,
It's a big difference, right? I get talked about, not confronted. It's a big difference. But guess what? It ain't even your business, right? It ain't even your business, especially if they're not confronting you face to face. There are two reasons I don't usually fit in. I think for myself. I don't care what others think about me. It's on you to get you where you want to be. And if you don't know where you want to be, guess what? You probably ain't going to get there, right? Because you ain't even trying to get there. And don't be afraid to lose people. Be afraid of losing yourself by trying to please everyone around you. And I'll leave you with this. Your job is to believe that God can do and will do his job, right? Don't play this game of life of by yourself. God's waiting to abide in you, right? And when that
mm.
happens, hair, money, size, color will not matter, right? So y'all be great. I want to cousin Toy came in. Cousin Toy, you see if you'd have been in a little early, I would have sang happy birthday to you. I did say that early on the show. But happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday, cuz.
And Auntie Richetta says, good morning. She came in. We have the butterfly. Good morning, butterfly and nephew. She says, good morning, family and everyone. Um, Auntie Vivian is
Yeah, I
in.
saw that. I was
Good
gonna say something
morning.
about Auntie.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. The sheep, yeah. Well,
My
she's
great
one,
great auntie.
yeah, that I was speaking about you guys yesterday who's in politics. And when I read something like, I put something out there, but then I got like angry. Like I wanted to be like, what's going on? Who is it? Like, I'm like, it's okay, Tammy. You said the right thing. That's all needs to be said. But yeah, you kind of I got into this fight mode. Like, but what does it say? When you want to fight, but you don't, you pray. So thank you for joining us.
Love you,
You're,
Auntie.
yeah, we love you and we are proud of you. Like
Man,
I
what?
can't say that enough. Matter of fact, when I was riding with me, mom, to y'all, we went and picked sweet potatoes. Oh my gosh, tell them, Brandon, we got boxes of sweet
Mm,
potatoes.
mm,
Oh, so I was telling her about Auntie Vivian and how proud I am of the things that she did. Like she overcame. When the leftovers, what's leftovers, right? Right. So we're proud of you. Let those people talk. Miss Brenda says some people feel that if a black man is wearing dreadlocks, that he is automatically engaging in criminal behavior. Right.
mm.
She says the
And that.
guy. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. I was just gonna say with Auntie Vivian, if you need some backup, Auntie, let me know. Got you. I'll come down there in a second. They ain't gotta know.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm telling you, it's just y'all. I'm telling you, just. But on that note, Auntie Vivian, stay focused.
Yeah, baby.
Stay focused. See, because once they get you off your grind, the time don't give them no time, none. They say
Weapons of
it.
mass distraction. They trying to keep you
Yeah,
distracted from your purpose.
yeah. Yeah, you
As
know
long
what
as
you're
you own
doing.
purpose.
That's right. You know what you're doing and how you doing it. And the people who for you are for you. And the ones who ain't, bye-bye. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to lose people that you don't even have.
Yeah.
Let them go. Send them
But mom,
back.
I got to get up out of here,
Go ahead,
sis.
baby. Go
All
ahead. I
right.
got it. I'm going to read
All
the
right. I love
comments and
y'all.
get on out of here. Miss Brenda says, love you, Brandon. Thank you. Go ahead and do your thing. I'll give you a call here shortly.
Okay.
Okay. She says, I love that I am a caring person. I think I read that. I just want to make sure I got everybody. She says, my weakest and strongest is caring about people. Same here. It was a love, but learning to love myself was hard for a while. So I get it. I get it. Um, when you, Miss Brenda says, when you gain weight, some people who have not seen you in a long time will tell you that you look good, but when they walk away, you can hear them talk about how big you have gotten and laugh. Miss Brenda is the same. They'll tell me how small I've gotten. And I have come to the point where, and it hasn't happened here lately, but some of these same people, I ain't throwing shade. What if I said, well, it depends on who you're comparing me to. Because if it's you, I can see why I'm small. People don't want you, they'll say you're small or you're too large. But if you tell them what they are, what your perception of what they are and how they look, oh, you wrong now. So I'm just going to say this, y'all. Don't play with people, right? Don't play with people and don't let people play with you. Be you, do you. Because you owe people nothing. And you sure don't owe people anything that don't even know how to pay themselves, right? They'll work a week and won't even get paid, right? And I'm not talking about money, right? Or they won't work. So y'all, truth be told, it's about you. Do you love you? Be true to you, right? Because it starts with you. And if you ain't to you, you can't be to me or nobody else, right? So let's get out of here. Our topic for today was good hair. Let me go back and get my banners here. Our quote, Aunt Jemima is the Black woman who cooked and cleaned, struggled, brought up her own family and a white family. And if I'm ashamed of Aunt Jemima, her head rag, her hips, her color, then I'm ashamed of my people. And I'm ashamed of myself, if I might add those words to it as well. Our affirmation for today, I am unique and attractive. I am beautiful in the mind of God. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters, you guys. So don't buy into the hype, right? Buy into your spirit man, your spirit woman, the spirit world, right? So y'all be great. Let's groove on out of here. We can't leave without feeding the ducks. All right. Groove in. Gotta groove out. Come on. Happy birthday, Miss Toy. Go be great this weekend. Have fun. Live life. Pimpin' wearing you or you wearing the pimpin'? Ducks eating you or you eating the ducks, right? I'm like Steve Harvey. I'm just foolish enough to know that God will do what he said he will do, right? And that I ain't fighting by myself. So come at me if you want. I got company that never leaves, right? I don't have to fight this battle. I just got to stay connected to God and keep allowing him help me clean my pig stuff out, right? Because I got some. But guess what? God knows what I have. And as he works on me, he's working through me. So what needs to be clean will be clean. But guess what? Not on anybody else's time. It's me and God. I'm good. Y'all be great.